get started in about another 10 minutes. So we're gonna have the next game for both squads entertained for like about another 5, 10 minutes, and we're gonna get started. Whenever you think about it, we'll get your bucket. Bucket my brain. So that's good. Well, you know, Oh, ¿cómo está la brother? Ya yo me recuerdo, sí. Yeah, no, I'm going to stop my brother, man.
So the next song is worth mentioning where it's coming from. It's called Congos, originally from Vietnam. It's ancestral rhythm, tradition, folk from the Dominican Republic that we that's that from our slave ancestors. So without further ado, Congos, the Vietnam.
Come on, you guys can do better than that. Please give them a round of applause. I want to thank you all for coming out. My name is Joseph Sanchez. I wanted to mention my son. I want to welcome everybody to our Let's Talk About Violence workshop this evening. My name is Joseph Sanchez. We're going to be discussing a lot of different topics. Before we start, we want to go through logistics, right? We want to thank Audience 52 and Mr. Lewis in the back for having us. We got men's bathroom right here. No, ladies' bathroom right here. Men's bathroom downstairs by where you came in. Any other logistics? Do we need translators? Everybody here speaks English? I speak Spanish, but I speak all over the place. No, I want to ask Spanish. ¿Cómo habla inglés? Does anybody need a translator? Y la verdad, porque si comenzamos a hablar en inglés, we're not turning back.
Mi gente, saludos. ¿Hay alguien aquí que solamente habla español y necesita traductor? Sí, necesito traductor. You speak English. Okay, good. ¿Hay alguien aquí que habla solamente español? Okay, muy bien. It sounds like everyone speaks English here. Okay, good. Perfect.
So todo el mundo me entiende, ¿verdad? En inglés. Okay, good. So everybody understands me in English. Any other logistics? Rules. We're going to do a workshop and we're going to engage a lot of people, so we're going to have a rule here. Raising your hands. I know it's not recording, but this type of setting doesn't allow us to have an open, free conversation. So please, if you have a discussion, if you have an idea, if you have a concern, if you have anything you want to interrupt, just raise your hand and interrupt.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. My name is Alan Gonzalez. In terms of the rules, we just want to urge you to be mindful and respectful of other people's opinions. If somebody's speaking, please, be respectful of the person that's speaking and raise your hand. If you guys want to share something, it'll be very helpful in not only creating a safe space, but keeping, a respectful boundary for each other and just showing each other that we respect each other's thoughts and opinions, So that's in terms of the community meeting rules.
Yes, thank you. Any other rules that we're missing? Anything else? Okay, so let's just get started. We're a little behind schedule too, so we're going to try to not rush it, but really get through a lot of information as soon as possible. So again, this is a What is Violence workshop. My name is Joseph Sanchez. I'm a facilitator. Let me just give you my background. I'm with the New York City Parks Department. I'm a manager at Petona Park. I'm also a student at Teachers College of University. I'm getting a doctorate in public health and community education. Thank you. Next year we'll be back. Not now. Still in the middle of a lot of things. But and we're also we just got funded to do the critical messenger elementary movement in New York City from Congressman Escajal just funded us. So we'll be starting our gang prevention, gun prevention intervention program soon. I'm also part of the Uptown Youth Collective. I'll give Al a minute to introduce that group, which is a coalition of partners like this. And today we want to have a meeting to discuss the immediate violence that's going on in the community, not just recently or immediately, but in the past also. So the purpose of the meeting, the purpose of this conversation is to identify problems that we're seeing and we're having and we're dealing with here in the community, come up with some solutions, and engage, get to know each other and network. So there's a lot to accomplish, but these are our goals, and I'm sure we can get it done. We have until like about 7:45. We have to be out of the building by 8 o'clock, so let's just keep in mind, stop me if I'm talking too much, because I could go on forever. So the agenda is going to be, we're going to introduce the Uptown Youth Collective in a second. I'm going to talk about the violence in Washington Heights and New York and Inwood. We're going to go into community problems, community solutions, how do we get involved, and then the next steps. Just a little background about me, just so you guys know. Again, these are pictures of me at John Jay. I'm an adjunct professor, and at Bronx Community College. This is me at the Parks Department. This is me reopening the High Bridge with Mayor Bloomberg in 2008. I led the campaign to reopen the High Bridge. The High Bridge got funded in 2008, and now you guys know you can cross from High Bridge in the Bronx to High Bridge in New York City. Just to give you an idea of who I am, I mean, you guys know me, you can talk to me after. I'm going to pass the mic now to Mr. Al. He's going to introduce the Uptown Youth Collective.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Al Santino. I'm the coordinator of the Uptown Youth Collective. And who are we? We're a coalition of youth organizations and youth service providers recently formed, and our purpose is to engage and empower our young people who need to be lifted up. Young people who are going through difficulties and challenges, and we all know the scenario, especially since the pandemic. And those of you who are in programs and educators and counselors, we know that our young people are dealing with a lot of social and emotional issues, and they're also dealing with violence in many different forms. So we have three objectives as an organization. One, we want to provide what we call a safety net of resources, of referrals and relationships. So young people who are in our spaces, whether they're in a school, a program, in a park, or out in the street, we can direct them, engage them as a community to the resources they need, and put some love around them and some resources. So that's number one. The second thing we want to accomplish is we want to empower our young people to be the leaders of this movement. It's going to be about young people taking responsibility to empower other young people. So we're going to be starting a teen advisory council, and young people will be taking leadership in our community, and they need to be leaders, right? Today, they need to be leaders in our community. Our third objective is to work across the community to address systemic issues that have been in our community for years, and an issue like tonight, violence, we all know, is an issue that we as a community must come together to address. Many of you probably know this, but the leading cause of death among children and adolescents is gun violence. This should not be. This should cause us to action. And so we're here to, and this is our first meeting of sorts, we're here to introduce ourselves, to network, to ask you to join with us. We live in a wonderful community, Washington Heights, Inwood, and if you're the Bronx, shout out to the Bronx. But we live in a wonderful community of rich, diverse culture. And we have to stand together as one community in unity, right? Standing on the ground of justice, peace, and prosperity for all of our people. Amen. Thank you.
And shout out to the Bronx. Yeah. Alice from the Bronx. Before we get started, I just want to introduce the line. You want to say a quick word about yourself in the background, and also Daniel? You know, facilitate today.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm glad you guys responded to the question. My name is Alam Gonzalez, right? So briefly, I am an alternative to incarceration social worker, right? I do a lot of community work. I work with mentally ill, formerly incarcerated, substance use youth. I am a part of a for-profit organization called Compassion, Pass It On, and we also do extra work work to address some of the systemic issues in the community in terms of teaching life skills, educating youth on sexually reproductive health, providing mentorship, you name it, communicating with fathers, single fathers. We do it all. I facilitate a fatherhood program in the weekend with compassion. On top of that, professionally, I work with formerly incarcerated youth. Gun violence, murder cases. I deal with this every day. As Joseph said, some of these issues are not only gun violence, but drill rap and the social media platform, going back and forth. Some of the work that we're doing now is literally just to create a safer community. We're trying to uplift, empower, and give a voice to the people in the community so that you guys can share your solutions on what you would like to be, what you would like to see in the community in order to address these issues so that we can make a safer space for everybody so everybody can live their lives in peace. I'm here with Joseph, my girlfriend Naima, so I'm going to segue into her, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I have to.
Don't say that.
Okay. So, he gave a great introduction of himself, but I want to reintroduce him so that you understand who is speaking to you. So, Alam is a formerly incarcerated youth. So he did go to jail. He dropped out of high school. But then he went back, he got his GED. He was a teen father. He graduated from college, he got his associate's, and he got his bachelor's. After that, he got his master's degree. So he's a social worker, right, professionally. And on top of that, he also gives back by running a program for young men that became fathers at an early age as well. So it's one thing when you hear like a nice, this is what I do, this is who I am, and I happen to do this as well. So I just wanted to reintroduce Alam. Everyone that's here is very passionate about this. It's not something new, just like everyone that's here today on a Thursday evening, ready to engage. So I just want to say thank you for everyone that's here, and thank you Alam, thank you Joseph, thank you Al for being the visionary behind this. So to introduce myself, my name is Naima Silver Matos. I'm actually an alumni from this school building, IS 52. And I run a girls leadership program. I've been running it for the past 9 years, pro bono, and it's just because I believe that our girls need more positive role models, and we're here for it. I have my own story, but at a different time, I'll share it. I do want to recognize there's other folks here in the room. Pedro Mejia from Catholic Charities, who's representing Eddie Silverio. He's also part of the Uptown Youth Collective. As Al mentioned earlier, the Youth Collective is a group of different organizations that have come together. And this wasn't something overnight. We've actually been coming together for the past couple of weeks. Also, Denise Hikes, Angela Ortiz from Angel Academy for Leadership, Our Perlin, who's also back here from Team Franchisement Now, and also the Viva Uptown Church Collective that has been instrumental in all of this.
We also want to add, Caroline Davis, she is the person behind Compassion. She's a founder. You want to put that in there, honey?
Yes, 100%. So that's pretty much it. So we're here today because we actually want to hear from you. A lot of times we look to the elected officials as the solution to everything, or they're the ones that need to come up with the solution to everything. Yes, they are connected to funding, right? Yes, they can pass laws that impact our lives, but there's also a sense of responsibility and a sense of agency that we have as the people that live here in this community. And so Joseph, in Spanish, se llama inquietud. He had like this thing, like, man, we need to have an emergency meeting when the situation happened when the father was shot in a bodega on Thayer Street back in December. And he was with his little girl. He was about to take his girl to school that morning, and that altercation happened, right? And a few days before that, there was another man that was whose life was cut short in Naval. And a few days after that, or maybe a few weeks after that, was the mother, the older lady that was also, her life was cut short on Vermilia and Dykeman Street, right? And there's been so much more. Even on Academy Street, up the block from here, going to Seaman, the past couple of months, there's been an uptick, right? So this has been bubbling up for some time, and we have wanted to get together and just do like a quick overnight meeting, but we decided to just organize it and take some time. And with that said, Joseph has a presentation to share with us.
Yes, I'm gonna jump on this thing. Do you wanna can you just flip the... All right, so this is Washington Heights. Everybody has their own definition of Washington Heights. The people from Washington Heights say that Inwood is not Washington Heights. The people from Washington Heights don't like Inwood. The people from Inwood don't like to go to play Little League and watch. It's a mess. And everybody has their own definition. So I look at it like it's a culture. You know, it's an uptown culture. Whether you live on 168, which is technically Washington Heights, or if you live on Academy right here, which is technically Inwood, we all live in the same culture, which is Dominican, American, urban culture. But there's a lot of other people in the mix of things. So this is just a map. You could just go back to the map. I mean, I thought this one was probably the best one. You know, 155th all the way up. You see all the parkland that we have. So I'm giving it up right now for the parks. We have High Bridge Park was like 155 acres. Inwood Hill Park was like another 200 acres. And you got Fort Washington, you got a lot of little parks. So we have a great community as far as transportation goes. A lot of communities in the Bronx, a lot of communities in Brooklyn and Queens don't have the easy transportation that we have. We have buses, we have the trains and the easy access, and we have a lot of parkland. So the quality of life is supposed to be good, but then again, we have a lot of other elements. Next one. This is just a couple of demographics. We have 195,000 residents, 72% are Latino speaking, Latinx, 4% Black, 68% high school graduates, which is all right. The lowest one that I saw was like 62, I think, in the Bronx, like low 60s. The unemployment rate is also higher than the average, 12% in Washington Heights, and 20% poverty rate in the community of Washington Heights, which is also a little high. Okay, this is another map. I really like this map. This map is the aerial map, but let's get that. Just to give you an idea of the Dominican culture coming into Washington Heights in the 1980s, we had in Manhattan 62,000 immigrants, Washington Heights, Dominicans. Totally in the city in 1980, like 125,000 Dominicans. In 1990, it was 332. In 2000, it was 500 plus. So it was like 500,000 Dominicans living in New York City in 2000, the year 2000. Right now, they're probably saying that there's like 175,000 Dominicans living in New York City, mostly now in the Bronx. But Washington Heights is still central to Dominican culture. This is a nice building of 155th and Riverside. This is like the west-south corner of Washington Heights. It's a really nice building. I just want to share that with you guys. All right, so everybody knows that the crime's been going up. This is not just in Washington Heights, but this is all city. We have this is in 2021. 2 years ago, the shooting rate went up 77%. Murder rate is 36% up. Gun arrests 67. I don't get my glasses, man. 67% up. Rape 30%. Robberies 12%. I have a question, and if you guys have questions, you can have the index cards. We provided you get an idea. Make sure that you write it down so we could engage later. But why we don't have drug sale rates? Like, do we document this? I know the police department documents it, but they don't make it public. And that's one of my issues that I have with these stats. You go to the next slide. Huh? They don't have youth crime either. All right, so this is, when we started building the Curriculum Messenger program, the precinct started sharing what they call hotspots with us because they wanted us to engage in the hotspots. I don't want to share the specific sites of the hotspots because I know people might live in one of those hotspots, and I want bring that type of attention to your neighborhood. But just for you to see, in 2000, we had like about 12 shootings, incidents, and we had about 19 victims. And in 2001, we had 23 shootings, and we had 28 victims. But there's a lot of shootings that happen that we don't document, so the number is higher than that. But just to give you guys an idea of how it's rising and what it is that we're dealing with. Shootings, victims of shooting, and then murders. Those are 3 different numbers.
Excuse me. There's a question. Everybody's asking, do you have more recent? Yes.
No, 2001 is like recent for us, but we'll definitely work on it. 2022, it was like from another source, and I didn't want to use that source. This is like the official NYPD downtown numbers.
Actually, the most recent statistics on police says every precinct, even just the NYPD in general, puts out what's called the CompStat numbers. You can actually go online on the NYPD site and you can see the statistics year over year for the 7 major crimes. And he's right, they are still up. Those were high, but they're still up.
Yeah, the 7 major index crimes. Again, I don't want to bore you guys with these stats. I'm used to doing these in school, so they know these numbers. I'm not crazy about them. If you go to the next slide. So here's the murder rate. Just to show you, 2010 there was 8 murders in Washington Heights. 2020 there was 11. There's been a steady increase. As you can see the numbers, from 2010 we had 11, 10, 7, 3, 3, 4, 7, 5, 2, 10, 11. So we're back up. Numbers are not crazy like they were in the 80s and the 90s when we were kids, because there was a lot of drug sales, a lot of drug shootings, but they're still high because this is random violence. All right, just more stats. This is more stats. If you have any ideas or questions about the stats, we can come back to this. But this is the official 33rd and 34th precinct crime stats. Again, there's a lot of crimes that happen that we don't have. And these are the 7 major index crimes, like my man said. All right, so this is recent violence. Everybody heard about this, right? I don't really want to get into it, but on the A train, there was a fight, and it went viral, and the kids actually got arrested. Does anybody have a brief history about what happened? Not what happened. What happened to the kids? Does anybody know? I heard that they got arrested. Huh? One got arrested, they didn't snitch, and the other 2 got away. All right. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Jocelyn from the DA's office. Let me give a shout out earlier. I want to give a shout out to the lady from the BX. Thank you for coming. Is that Eddie Severo? Everybody, give this man a round of applause, please. He's not back to PR. I'm sorry, Melody. Oh, the Manhattan DA's office. So you guys got to connect later. All right, so this is recent. This happened on 81st. This is what? March 14, 2 weeks ago. Next slide. This is the Dykeman one that I know brought up December 26. Everybody knows about the lady, right? She got shot randomly, passed away. I don't know what happened. What happened with the dead catch the shooters? No. This is the one that on Davis Street and Nagel. This is where I grew up. I grew up on Davis between Sherman and Nagel. So this is a frequent spot that store wasn't there when I was growing up. It was like 2 stores down. But this is next to the pharmacy. Anyway, this is where the father got shot in the morning when he was with his daughter. The 10-year-old daughter saw the whole thing. And this is really what sparked this whole meeting. So just want to remind you guys, this is all recent. And we're not even going to get into what happened from September to December. Because there was like 4 shootings on that same block right here. Can you go forward? And this is what is violence. So I want to ask you guys, what is violence? Because I think that the reason why we can't figure this out and we can't prevent this is because we don't know what violence is. We don't know how to define it. We don't know how to look at it, and we don't know how to work with it. Violence. I'm in worst of dissing anybody, but in school, they always say that violence is a public health issue, that it's contagious and that, it gets transmitted like a disease. I'm not from that school of thought. I really believe that violence is, the way they look at violence is the way I look at HIV and AIDS. Violence is already, you have AIDS. Just to do a quick metaphor, if you have HIV, this is what we're dealing with. We got to deal with the patient that has HIV and give him medication before he gets to the state that he has that he has AIDS. The way we deal with violence, we deal with it like if it's an AIDS patient. And we got to deal with it like it's an HIV patient. And a lot of people don't believe in that philosophy, but that's really what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the end results. The police comes at the end when everybody's killed or somebody got shot. We call the probation officers after the fact. So we don't do prevention work. So we have to look at violence differently. That's why in all the workshops that I lead, I always ask the question, what is violence? Next slide. So community violence is also different. Community violence is conflict resulting in intentional injuries and death. This is community violence, not independent, domestic, or just one-on-one individual. Gun violence is community violence. Group violence, not randomly distributed violence. That means that violence that happens in certain pockets, in certain areas, that's community violence. Because it's not coming from just from an individual perspective, it's coming from a social dynamic. And racial and ethnic violence. Minorities bear a disproportionate burden. So that means when this group of people are suffering from violence, it's usually coming from community violence. And just to give you a quick brief background of Washington Heights and violence.
We want to invite Eddie Silverio, who just arrived, so that he can share
I don't know if we want to invite Eddie. I don't know. Eddie, if you want to come up and speak with us real quick, I'll pass the mic because we got the recorders. So in 1960, the Dominican immigration camp, we saw the numbers. In 1988, there was a police officer that got killed in Washington Heights in the middle of some type of drug exchange, and the police officer passed away. So that's kind of like the beginning of the history of the community and the police department, police relations, the native police relations. In 1992, Kiko Garcia got killed. There was riots in 1992. In 1993, we started seeing Trinitarios organizing in Rikers Island, and all types of Dominican gangs started forming. In 1996, we started deporting Dominicans and just immigrants all over the city. Giuliani and Du Bois and Bloomberg. In 2018, we saw Junior get killed by gangs in Bronx, also Dominican culture. And we want to ask now in 2022, 2023, how are the police relations with the community? That's one of the priorities that we want to work with tonight. We could just go through the slides and see pictures. This is 1960, Washington Heights, that's around the corner, 207 Nation Ashland. This is my grandpa's when he came in the 70s. The cars weren't that old, but he was hanging out with the old cars. That's us in the 80s. That's the crack epidemic in 1985 to 1990, Washington Heights. Does anybody know what street this is? This is Garcia Jewelry. It kind of reminds me of 181st. 181st, right? Between St. Nick and Audubon. So this is Michael Music. There's a school that's named after him, and also a baseball field up in Cottonbridge. This is the officer that got killed in 1988 by, one of the community guys that was selling drugs. This is Kiko Garcia's funeral. This is the picture of the riots. How many people remember the riots? How many people were doing riots in the riots? The uprising. This is 1993 Rikers Island. This is the Dominican gang started forming. And by 1996, we had deported 50,000 Dominicans. Got deported back to DR. I know a few of my cousins over there, and a couple of people. But this is something that we can look at because this is the way the city dealt with the problem. again, they dealt with it after the fact. They didn't work with it before. Next slide. This is just information for you guys to get so we can understand what we're talking about. Community and police relations, more pictures. Flip through it. This is recent. Flip through it. This is the junior situation. This is the junior situation. And this is an idea of an effective community violence intervention program, which is what we're trying to build. You know, we have intervention programs in schools, hospitals, and communities. This is an example of a community-based one. But in schools, you know, we could obviously set them up, and also in hospitals. On the community level, intervention with communities that care. Again, this is an example of a community that cares, that comes out to a meeting and wants to participate and invest some time in this type of program. Also, greening communities, what we do in the park, pride-owned organizations, peace and prevention programs, and structured intervention. So, again, a lot of information. I don't want to bore everybody. I'm at 7:13, and we're going to open up now for discussion. So, if you have any questions, you can just shut that off. We're going to get engaged now, but I just want to make sure that we knew what we were talking about. Thank you. So,
good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you all for coming this week, right? And I'm going to get straight to the point, right? We spoke about violence. When it comes to violence, I'll give you a brief overview, right? Again, my name is Alon Gonzalez. I grew up in the South Bronx. I came to New York City in the 1990s, late 1990s. I grew up in a rough neighborhood in the black community, and when it came to violence, it was not something that I was privy to, but it was something that I was exposed to. Different types of violence, you know, microaggressions, social emotional issues. These are things that a teenager experiences in the community, right? We're speaking about violence. So I see a lot of mothers here, a lot of fathers here. I want you all to be mindful that your voice is really going to make a difference in this very moment. How? Your voice is going to make a difference by not only allowing you to create solutions to the issues that are in the community, but providing an opportunity to not only collaborate with the individuals who are here, who either run programs or fund community-based organizations, but you can also share your ideas in creating incentives, creating solutions to those problems. Right? I want to ask you all, what do you think some of the issues are in your community? This is a genuine question. What are some of the issues here in the black community? What do you guys see?
So we're just going to ask, just raise your hand. We're going to pass the microphone. We are going to ask everyone to keep it to no more than a minute. So if anyone goes over a minute, we'll let you know just so that we're able to get as many people to share. As you're speaking, we have someone that's going to be transcribing and taking notes so that we can also see it up there. ¿Hay alguien aquí que necesite traducción en español? No? Okay, good. So let's get started. So this is your time to speak. So would anyone like to share what their opinion is on what is one problem? There are many problems. What's one problem?
not an opinion, a word or two or a sentence. We'll get into an essay.
It's okay.
She has
1
the wrong
minute. You
voice.
have 1 minute. You have
She has the wrong voice.
All right.
Please stand up if you feel comfortable. Use the microphone.
I don't need it. So not only am I an educator in the neighborhood, I was born and raised in this neighborhood. I've been a teacher in this neighborhood for 26 years. And I think that one of the main problems is we don't have enough programs for the youth in this neighborhood. They have nothing to do. They're bored. I think if we had more resources or more activities, more recreational centers, let's get them engaged. Let's do things with them. These kids want to dance. These kids want to sing. These kids want to rap. These kids want to draw. But there's nothing here.
Can I read the please? Catherine?
Catherine Mota, founder of Outside Right.
Catherine Monda. I want to say her name. I want to respect her name.
Catherine, can you say that one more time?
Okay.
One more time.
Yes.
My name for the
With the message, one more time.
okay. I said that I think we need more recreational programs for our youth. Because there's a lack of resources in the neighborhood. Kids don't have places to go to. There's not a lot of after-school programs. There's not a lot of recreational centers. There's a lot of people that would love to be mentors but don't know where to go to get started or who can help them do it. I've had people come up to me and it's like, where do I go? What do I do? Who's gonna help me? I can come to the elected officials, but they can help me but so much. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have another, I want to answer her real quick.
Yes.
I want to give you an answer.
Make it quick.
I'm gonna make it quick, right? In terms of everything you just said, you're completely correct. You're right. A lot of youths are bored. A lot of youths have these issues where they idle hands do the double dirty, right? We are the Uptown Youth Collective. So what that is we are not only a collage of individuals who share the same ideologies. We collaborate with individuals who run programs. So we have Catholic Charity in the back. We have Compassion here in the front. We have myself, I'm a social worker, and I also mentor. In terms of the referral the referral system that we're going to share later on, if you guys have anybody who you feel can benefit from these resources, you guys can collaborate with us and we can not only work together in terms of providing these resources, we can refer them out to somebody who might provide the services that they might need. Because let's say somebody with substance abuse issues. Okay, if we don't have those resources at the moment, I know somebody who does. If you need mentorship, if I can't provide that, or Al can't provide that, or Naima or Joseph, we know somebody who does, and we can connect you with those resources. And not only, yes.
I hear you out saying that you have these resources and they're available, wherever you may be located. But how are you going out letting people know that this is out there? There's a lot of kids in this neighborhood, especially me being from Inwood, that doesn't know that this is out. It's not being promoted. Maybe there is social media, but it's not a social media. You're not letting them know this is there.
And it's
So
not
how are
enough.
they supposed to know this?
There's a lot of youth also. It's not
Okay.
enough. We got a lot of youth.
Maybe it entitles us going out to the streets and letting them know. I'm one of those people that I'm like, hey, let's do it. But where are you?
Okay.
It's like you're saying all of this here, but you're hidden behind. Where?
Okay.
Next issue.
No, I want to address this because I see. I like this. You got a lot of fire, right? You haven't heard from us. You haven't heard from us before, but we're here now. Not only are we new, they've been around for a while, but this is something that we've been working on for several weeks, several months. Now that we are here, take advantage of us now and let's collaborate because the solutions are here in the moment. Moving forward, we're going to build that relationship and we're going to make the changes that we want to see in the community. Now, I want to move forward to her question because I don't want to turn it into a debate. After, let's sit down and let's come up with the solutions let's come up with a solution to the issues that you're presenting because I think that you're making valid points and I got a lot to share and I definitely want to hear what you have to say. So let's connect after.
You get out to the schools in the neighborhood and let people know.
Yes, we're about to.
So do you want to present a solution now to your own problem?
Alright, so we're going to reel it back in, okay? We're gonna reel it back in. And this is okay, this is happening, this is dialogue.
good.
We have a lot of different personalities.
This is good.
But we're gonna take a moment to reel it back in. We're going to just establish how we're going to do this. Right now is the opportunity for you in the audience to share your perspective, share your opinion, share your experience. We are going to step back and not offer commentary on what you're sharing, okay? We're gonna allow you to express yourself. We're going to take notes, okay? Then, after we're done with this section of sharing what the problems are and what the issues are, we're going to move into a dialogue on what are some solutions. So right now, our focus is what are the problems? And Catherine has shared one. It's a valid issue and it's real. Is that we have providers. Yes, that's what Alam is saying. We have providers and we're here to connect. But there's still a great need in our community. Our youth still need better and they still need more, right? So that's valid. Let's leave it at that. We're not going to question the validity of what you're sharing. So moving forward, who's the next person that wants to share what is an issue? We'll move to solutions moving forward.
Okay, my name is Maureen Dennehy. I'm actually the 78 mom. My daughter's graduating this year from 278. I'm also a Girl Scout mom and a Girl Scout troop leader with my thing. She had to go. But my solution is we need a community center so all these ideas and all these resources could be in one place that the kids could access. And this has been tossed around a couple of times, and I don't know, we need funding for that. So I'm just throwing it out there. So,
And we're taking notes. So right there, development and community center that is accessible to you. Thank you. But please, let's keep sharing. What are the issues? What are the problems? What have you observed? And thank you.
Somebody else have their hand up?
Yeah, I saw someone's hand up. Oh, right here.
It was two of them. It was him and somebody else, right?
My name.
Okay, go ahead, speak it up.
Hi, my name is Dion. I'm a student at Randolph High School. I wanted to speak about.
Wait, before you continue, I know that your voice is strong, but there might be people that can't hear you.
Yeah,
So
okay.
just please use the microphone. We're also live streaming, so that way folks can hear it.
Alright, so I'm a student at Randolph, like I said, and I think that a big problem around almost a lot of communities is a lot of these kids really don't be having their father in their life. Like, I feel like a father holds a big role in a lot of kids' life. Like, teaching young men how to control their anger and hold and stay strong and keep fighting for what they're supposed to do and not taking that easy route and going to them down. And I feel like that's really a big issue that we don't talk about.
Thank you for being vulnerable and taking the risk of sharing that. Like you said, it's not something that's spoken about necessarily in that way. Alam definitely wants to connect with you afterwards. Who else would like to share?
Good evening. My name is Vasai. I feel Catherine and this young man made two valid points that I definitely agree with. Based on my observations and on my years in New York City, the main thing that I've noticed is that we have parents that don't have enough time for their kids, either because they're working too much to be able to make ends meet, or the ones that just don't care. They just have kids to get more money on the end of the month or the beginning of the month. And so what happens is you have kids that, like Catherine said, they're bored, don't have nothing to do, they're being raised by computers, cell phones, that's feeding them nonsense, not enough programs, or maybe we do have programs, but we don't know about them. So I think this right here is perfect for us to put our brains together, collaborate, and definitely start making the moves necessary to solve these problems. I think the people here can make it happen. I feel we have the resources, we just don't know about it, but now we're finding out about it. So it's about us coming together and making it happen.
Hello, my name is Melody. I was thinking as I was sitting here, I'm a very spiritual person and I feel like this is the perfect space. We don't need a community center. I think this auditorium is big enough to create a space for the youth at least once a week. And I'm willing to offer my services, to start that. I'm good at organizing. Joseph knows. I think this is the perfect place right here, if you ask me.
We got somebody over there.
The microphone is coming over to you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashley. I grew up here all my life and I work in this building. I feel like one thing that's not said, it should be obvious, is the easy access. So since I was a kid, it's been easy for kids to get drugs in this area, or guns, or weapons. So there is programs. There's a ton of programs in this neighborhood itself. There's resources, there's money, there's everything. But the kids have easy access to everything that's negative. Like every single store here that sells drugs, I've seen kids go in, I've seen kids buy. I've seen kids buy weapons. Obviously, I can't do much about it, but that's not my place, unless it's happening in this building. I've seen kids go outside, and I've seen kids with weapons in their hands, and I can't interrogate them, but I know they got it from somebody else in the street. I've seen kids get recruited to gangs in this very same corner. So it's the easy access. So the kids network with each other, the kids tell each other, hey, let's go outside and let's do drugs. And they're gonna listen to each other. The kids are listening to each other, and the kids are getting from each other, and the kids are getting from the street. The adults that are outside are supposed to be the better role models for them, are the ones that are giving it to them. So, and I also agree with him, there's also lack of parents and lack of mentors in their life and just, I guess, family. A lot of the kids in this building who tend to do these things, these negative things, are the ones that are lacking a parent in their lives and lacking that proper supervision. Not even supervision, just lacking that type of love, period. So they go outside and they look for other ways. So I don't think it's the resources. I witness people come to this building, giving out grants, giving out money, and I see them and they use it for programs. Today a news broadcaster came to talk to kids about a program that just opened up for a new yard. It's not the money. It's just the fact that it's easy access. And they know, I don't know how to explain it. It's just easy access for them. So that's the case.
It is so difficult to not respond after each person, but we're going to practice discipline and keep going.
Keep going? I'm also named Ashley, so that's cool. Ashley, born and raised in Inglewood, and everybody else. Also, another advocate, part of Uptown United. And Captain actually was one of my teachers from PS5, so I'm actually a retired this year. I agree with Ashley, this gentleman here, the two ladies in the back. It is actually so vital, especially in Inglewood, that, as actually said, there's so much easy access in this neighborhood. It's like, we're at the point where it's like, okay, we're telling you guys day in, day out. We literally hosted an event last September regarding this situation and it has to do with gun violence. Last summer, we called literally testified that was one of the most rowdiest summers from 2005. 2005, I remember, was the worst of the years of living in England because of all the deaths that were happening back to back each week. The fact that you guys can sit here and say that we have resources, where are they? What buildings are they in? We've been door to door, whether it's social media, word of mouth. We've been making actual efforts. You see, it's easy access to get these resources, but we've been doing this. I'm going to be 28 this year. I've lost 12 friends I can think of before they even hit 16. I lost my friend who was an officer last January. What are we doing to change the preference of this neighborhood? You guys are saying, yeah, we got resources, we got access. I don't see y'all in the forefront when we out there. Or even when we as a community came out as a whole, I didn't see y'all out there. It's like she said, kids have so many accessibility. No, definitely I've seen it, but in the entirety of the whole, because you guys are also represented as a unit. Your unit team wasn't there for you guys as team players. And it's disappointing for that because at the end of the day, we ask our members of our leadership, hey, we need assistance here, we need help here. And as much as we're voicing that, it's like, okay, you here's what's going on in 1 year. And that's what it feels like. It's felt like that for years.
Can you summarize your problem?
The violence. The violence within guns, within cells, within groups.
So what she's
drugs
saying,
on top of that.
So what she's saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is not only is it easy access, is having access to us as a collective for the resources that we are presenting.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is that and building a relationship with the community and collaborating with you to address these issues.
Because even when we do voice the need to want to collaborate, it's like we do, and it's okay, I'm gonna get my team, I'll get back to you.
So it's
we don't hear from you
collaboration.
until a year later.
So it's collaboration. The overall issue is collaboration.
The lack of communication to collaborate, and the miscommunication when it comes to collaboration.
So
Because it's all a misinterpretation for me.
No, before we move, hold on. We do have to pause and we do just because we're having this dialogue, there's a lot of you. We, as a collective, we're just getting started. So, point blank, we're just getting started. So there's not that, oh, I haven't seen you in the streets, I haven't seen you out here. I was out there, Catherine saw me. I was there. The girls leadership program that I started it in 2014 with no money whatsoever.
Definitely.
And what did I do? We started it in the projects. And we've been running it for 9 years consecutively. Girls leadership program. I got the pictures, I got the website, I got the receipts if you want to see them, right? But it's not just about me. I'm just letting you know, like, we have been out here individually. We are coming together as a collective now. You know, I hear your frustration. I just want you to know that it's not a us versus them.
We in it together.
We are us. We are us. Literally. Okay? Like, I used to run a literacy program in my lobby. And she won't let me lie. She works at the school, IS-52. My sisters and I, we used to run a free program. And then Literacy Incorporated replicated that program in reading lobbies across the neighborhood. That was back in 2012. So, like, each of us have been out here individually doing stuff, you know? But we recognize that there's only so much we can do individually. And I love your passion because I know you've been out here, you've been doing it just like everyone else has been doing it. And since we're here, what I feel in the spirit is that it's almost like we're coming together as a community and we're about to enter a revival. We're about to start, or we're about to, I feel it, that's what I feel in my spirit, that it's going to be a revival in a sense because there's just so many different elements and so many different things that need to be tackled, and it's going to take all of us, you know?
You mentioned you had a literacy program in 2012. Did you have the resources out to the public that they knew about it?
So the because I don't want to go back and forth, but this was a local literacy program on Academy Street, and so we worked with the kids on that block. And we held it on a weekly basis, so we were able to reach out to the families in that area. It was just 3 of us, right, and we're doing it for free, and we didn't get on Univision because we don't do things to get press, right? We just did it to support locally. So I just want to invite you to shift the mentality of us versus you. Like, this is not us versus you. Like,
let's come together.
We are us. Okay.
Amen.
All right, we got 10 minutes to do community and problems and community solutions. So,
But he had a question.
So after him, we can switch into the solution.
just be mindful of the time.
Go ahead.
So, another problem, I want to piggyback up Catherine. Shout out to Catherine, a good friend of mine. So, I've been working in this community for over 25 years. Catherine is a student of mine. That's my brother that was speaking back there. And I've been in this building for 15 years. And something I've been advocating for a very long time, I want to piggyback something that someone else brought up, is that in this community, the Inwood community, I know that Joseph said Inwood and Washington Heights is the same thing, but once you pass a certain streets in Washington Heights and you start going to a city called Inwood, there is no accessibility of services that Washington Heights have. You understand? Inwood is just, it's a nook in Washington Heights, but the nook in Washington Heights, I mean, up here, that we're going Inwood, really doesn't have, it's like a little void. And it's something I've been advocating for a really long time. We talked about trying to open up a community center up here. Also, as a service provider myself, yes, there is, and I agree with the collective that there is services, a lot of services, but some of us who provide services, our arms are binded with the number of participants we're able to serve because our contract only allows us to serve a certain amount, and there's lots of kids that we have to turn away. It's not fair because for a really long time I've been asking for, and advocating for, and asking for everything, including after school program, including SRP program, including program for high schools as well, because we provide some program for kindergartens all the way up to middle school, but then there's a void of programs for high schoolers, and then those are the ones who are out in the streets get enamored with the street life, and then they're the ones that Ashley says they get recruited by the streets because there really is no much service to them besides SYP or maybe even some type of community services. So there is, while there is services, the number of participants that we're able to provide services for is very limited, and in certain populations there is almost zero to no services, especially up here in Inwood. And we can't say we could send the kids from Inwood down to Washington Heights because while this is a forum about youth violence, and one of the things that we have to acknowledge is that the youth in Inwood you have beef with youth in other parts of the community as well. So we can't send our kids down to Washington Heights and then send them to a dangerous situation, because when they come up here, there's something that we have to do is advocate and make sure that we protect each other. And lastly, another problem that we have up here in Washington Heights, this is the only school building that actually opens the door for people in the community, or for kids and adults, to provide this type of forum, a space for recreational space for kids to actually do things out here. This area in Inwood has at least 6 or 7 schools. All the doors closed. None of the principals will open the doors. This is the only building that actually opens the doors. And I have to say that I'm the first one that advocates anybody who wants to do anything in this building. I'm the first one to say, just come over here. I'll do all the labor for you to make sure this space is available. But this shouldn't be the only space. And anyway, there's no space to open up a community center. The schools themselves should be a community center for these kids, to get them off the street and get them to do something to distract their minds. This shouldn't be the only building. Yes, we have 366 buildings always closed, 278 buildings always closed, Amistad buildings always closed. Charter schools, buildings always closed. But not all charter schools. Some charter schools do open the doors. Some charter schools do open the doors up here. But there's only I can only say probably 2 out of all the schools in Inwood up here, because San Morena is another building that always opens for this community. It's not fair that only 2 of these schools in this whole community should carry the burden. We should also speak with the school administrators to say this space is available for the youth as well, and do something about it as well. So, I'm sorry. Like Children's Day, other than that,
Louis, thank you. Hold on a second now. Once we transition to the solutions part, Louis, once we transition to the solutions section, let's explore a solution for that. So it sounds like it has to be on the funding level from citywide. Before we go to the young man, we have Judge Wang in the back, and then we'll come back to the front. Okay?
Hi everyone, I'm John Wang. I'm actually the presiding judge of Midtown Community Court, which is located on West 54th Street. I want to, first I just want to thank all of you, because I was invited here by my friend Jimmy. I've lived in the neighborhood with my family for the last 12 years. My kids play in the parks here. We know them very well. And so for me, this is home. I appreciate hearing from all of you. I wanted to hear from all of you first before I say what I'm about to say, because really what I'm about to say is more of a public service announcement, and I thought it might be beneficial. I also don't know the next time my schedule will permit me to be here, but I wanted to come out tonight to support you and to also just let you know I'm in the community. Some of the things that you're talking about hit home for me. As a judge, I have certain ethical limitations. I can't talk about ongoing cases. I can't talk about controversies that exist right now. So I'm not going to wade into that. What I do want you to know is that beginning about 2 weeks ago, anyone who was issued a desk appearance ticket, who's 18 to 25, will have their case on a misdemeanor, will have their case returnable to Midtown Community Court. So if you're arrested for penitent larceny, if you're arrested for harassment, for criminal mischief, and you're given a ticket if you are arrested at a precinct, and that ticket has a date on it for you to go back to court, you're going back to Midtown Community Court. You're appearing before me or another judge who might be filling in for that day. And I want to talk, I'd be happy to talk to you more about the difference between why someone gets a ticket sometimes and why somebody actually gets arrested and held in custody. But let me just say this. On the day that anyone gets a desk appearance ticket, they have contact information that they can fill out. They don't have to fill out the correct contact information. They don't have to fill out any information at all. But if they don't, then there can be no one on the social services side to reach out to them. Because for many of the cases that are issued desk appearance tickets, you have an opportunity, or anyone who you might know who gets issued one of these desk appearance tickets for a misdemeanor, has an opportunity to connect with services who will reach out to them and then possibly have their case diverted. Now, right now, that's what's going on with the current district attorney in Manhattan. So I just wanted to share that with all of you, to share that with your friends or anyone you know, because the work that you're doing is so critically important, because you're doing the work that's upstream. You're doing the work that has to be done, that's critical and way more important than the things that I can do. I'm not the solution. I'm kind of the person of last resort, and I want to be the person of last resort. So I just wanted to let you know that that's what's going on. Every Thursdays in Midtown Community Court, those cases are being returned to appear before a judge like myself. And many of those cases, if we take advantage of the services, if you're given a desk appearance ticket, then you can get that case diverted, dismissed, the district attorney can decline to prosecute. So take that for what it is. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But I do want you to know that right now that's going on. All right. I thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate everything that I've heard about all that you've shared.
Thank you. You can get that information to us in writing so we can put it out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we want to capture that and make sure we get it out.
All right, awesome. So while I was getting that information, we just want to ask if we have so many part of the support team, and we can introduce them in a little bit. If we can just pass out the index cards, and what we're going to ask everyone in the audience, we're going to pass out index cards and a pen. In the front, write what you see as one of the major issues are, and in the back, please share what you think are one of the solutions or ideas that you may have. Okay? So that's just so that we can get everybody's input, because not everybody's comfortable speaking in public. And now what we're going to do is, we're going to transition into the solutions part of the dialogue, okay? Yeah, we are gonna have, we're gonna get the microphone right now. I'm just sharing that. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Niall. I go to Beacon High School, and I just want to talk about the how we have a lack of resources, including internships. Mostly talking about money, because a lot of these people that are out in the streets, in gangs, and just trying to sell drugs, they're trying to survive and get money. So I feel like you just need to teach them a new strategy to how to survive with using money and resources, like investing to stocks, NFTs, and also businesses, so they can work into being millionaires and being something that they can live under, you know what I mean? And give, pass on to their families, you know? That's all I say.
Thank you. That is amazing. We're definitely writing that down. Yes, we're writing that down. It's almost like SYP should be year-round and offering more, right? Yes.
One more? Yes, right here, one more.
Wait, there was the young lady over there after the gentleman here. The young lady has a solution as well.
Maybe. He had his hand up for a while. He had his hand up for a while.
So I just wanted to, my name is Wayne. I'm actually an African with, I'm the
Hold on, guys. One mic.
my name is Wayne. I'm not familiar with his guest today, but I do have some experience with this. It resonated with me what the young lady was saying here. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Ashley. About different community organizations doing different things. Part of the challenge actually is that a lot of the community organizations like yours and others are people in the community doing the work. And believe it or not, while you may think you have a big footprint in it, it's a small part. One of the things that I learned in my community, I'm from Brooklyn, one of the things I learned in my community, and I'm part of the community board there, what we learned is that people like you and people like Mom and Naira and all those other folks were doing the work in the community, they just didn't know about each other. And so what my community board started doing was, and this was about 7 years ago, we started what's called a nonprofit roundtable, where we specifically went out and got information for every nonprofit or community-based organization in the community, in our community district, and sat down at the table along with all of the representatives from the city and state agencies, and had them introduce themselves and what their programs did in the community and how they can connect and collaborate. What the result of that over the last 7 years is that we've seen an increase in community engagement around those programs by 30%. So when you say that, you're out there doing stuff, Naira saying she's out there doing stuff, and you guys just never cross paths. But part of the challenge is, it's not even misdirection, it's just lack of access and communication, period. And people operate in silos. And like you said, there are people out there that you call and try to collaborate, and they don't connect back because they don't know who you are, they don't know what you're doing, they think you're trying to come and take over. There's a lot of stuff, but having a roundtable helped clear a lot of that up. And like I said, engagement increased. The other thing is, and I love that this young man touched on it because I was going to say it, I saw the post outside, I'm very happy. I'm a volunteer and a former youth service committee chair in my community board, and a volunteer with UICD, helping to get youth employed in the summer youth employment program. And it's not just summer youth employment, there are 6 what they call workforce connect programs that DYCD offers, where young people have an opportunity year-round to earn money.
Yeah, we just need to bring that information here so
Right.
that our kids have access.
So, there's a site, and what I can see, one of the biggest providers in Manhattan is actually just across the street, Inwood Community Services.
That's what Louis is from.
That's right. So, parents should be trying to connect their kid with that guy right there.
The reckless right there, Jody, stand up.
So parents should be trying to connect their kid with that young lady right there. And if you're in this community and you run a business, you should be trying to connect with that young lady right there and hire a youth for the summer.
And tomorrow, and is tomorrow the deadline?
They usually extend it, but
And then she's going to
What's the young lady?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the deadline for the summer youth employment applications. Since you guys brought it up, and it's important that the youth know that it's available to them. The deadline is tomorrow. However, I think it's very likely that it might be extended another week. They haven't officially said that it will, but I'm hoping they do. It gets extended every year. They just can't tell us that it is. So it hasn't been officially extended, but hopefully it will. But for anyone that's interested in SYP, whether to be a partner program to host participants for the summer, or if youth that need to apply to the program, please come here.
Okay, hello, my name is Jessica. I go to Union School for Minimum. I'm not from Manhattan, not from Brooklyn, nothing. My school, we have a lot of opportunities, we do have a lot of resources. For my school, I'm already in SYP. I don't have to go through the lottery, I went through it. I do volunteer work at a center that's in my project. If I wanted to find a center, if I wanted to find resources, I search it up and I find where I have to go. Yes, and the reason why I do that personally is because I'm the one who's seeking out for help. I've seen a lot of kids that were gang-related, doing drugs and all that, flip their life to a whole 360 or 180. Can't do math right now. But they turn around their whole life after them searching out these resources. And it's not even, I feel like when kids do drugs and do all these bad things, it's because nobody's reaching out. Nobody's trying to help them, trying to find out what's wrong. And if they're lacking a parent, or if they have their parents, and they're still going through something, no teacher, no guidance counselor, no social worker is trying to sit there and actually talk to them and try to help them. They will either just suspend them, expel them, and help them, make them learn their lesson. Or even worse, as somebody that went through mental issues, as somebody that had to go through it, they would just send you to the hospital and think that everything will be okay after. When once you will come right back, it's basically all over. Nobody's actually trying to sit here and reach out and trying to help you when y'all are just trying to just push us back. Even with teachers, I understand that some teachers are the best, or some teachers just like to add on and put hard work on them. They don't know that that's harming them even more. That's why kids skip class. That's why kids don't go to school. That's why kids stay home.
What's your name? What's your name? Yes. Can everybody give her a round of applause? Thank you for standing up. Thank you for having a voice.
Okay, she has to be the last one, but we have to be okay.
It's the last one. Solution or problem?
Hi everyone. My name is Anna. I'm a special education teacher and I'm also from Grace Tabernacle Church. For the community solution, I think that's something that's super important that ties into everything. Is kind of similar to what Jessica said about the individuals that are being put in place for the solutions. They need to be relatable to the kids. Kids make connections. So, along, since you work with people that are incarcerated, with also young fathers, that's definitely people who should be mentors, people that they can relate to. Because I'm sure all of us in school, in assemblies, we will listen to people speaking, but they have nothing to do with us, or they can't relate to us. Like we think, oh, my mom doesn't know what I'm going through because she doesn't, she never went through it, for example. So that's also like an important thing, making sure that you guys have, that we have people that volunteer, share their stories, so that our kids can feel like they're not alone. This is not the first time it's happening to someone as well.
What's your name? Can everybody give Anna a round of applause, please?
Yeah, we got like 5 minutes left. You want to say something real quick? Go ahead.
You said one of you take more initiative?
To understanding children, because it's like, even with this program, the only reason I'm in is because of my cousin, and he's still nearly around my age. No grown person has gave me any information that would make me want to listen. None of them know what we want to know, none of them understand us and get that. So for the people that don't want to know, the adults need to learn how to get to those people.
Okay, I wanna, give him a round of applause. And I wanna, what's your name? What's your name? Hold on. First, we gotta acknowledge him. Keon, thank you. Honestly, give him a round of applause. Now, hold on, before you say something in the mic, right? Keon, I wanna respond to you, right? So, in terms of dealing with adults who can relate to you, right? Try not to write everybody off now until you have an opportunity to not only get to know us, but to see what we have to offer. Now, I want to share a little bit about myself, right?
Make it quick.
I'm going to make it super quick, right?
30 seconds.
All right, that's too quick. Right? So, in terms of your first point that you made earlier about lack of fatherhood programs, lack of parental support, paternal support, a lack of mentorship. I myself am a mentor, and I am a therapeutic, got my mind fogged up, right? So I myself am a therapeutic therapist. During the day, I'm a social worker, and I work with Ms. Caroline Davis right here. She runs a for-profit organization called Compassion. We run, this is her program, but I facilitate it. We run a fatherhood program in the Bronx. I know it's not Inwood, but we would love to collaborate with somebody where we can bring these resources to Inwood. And not only do we have these programs in her organization, but there are also other organizations here who are doing the same thing. So it's like, before you write us off, listen, hear us out. You know, we can work together, because I can tell that you got a vision, and I can tell that you want to do something. And I can tell that you and all your friends are ready to do the work. So what can we do together in terms of making this addressing this issue on a community-based level, so that we can bring the change that we want to see?
That is true. And you said you were a therapist, right?
Yes.
So, do I want to like my business in a lot of...
Hold on.
I'm not okay. I'm just saying, in my life, these violent situations and problems, that's what I've been through. So, having a parent that I felt like I could not talk to, I have all that. I've been to therapists, I had therapists speak with me. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of talking about it, but not a lot of seeing it, or talking about it, or real effort to pushing it. Okay, give me a round of applause.
I want to encourage you guys to connect offline. We should have a conversation directly.
Hi everyone,
with Jessica, we'll connect. I want to say I'm going to continue to come back here. I'm a living example of building programs from the ground up, period. And anything that I can do to give you resources, I want to leave you with this. MWBE, do your research. That's important. As black and brown people, there's an opportunity to be a certified business here in New York City and New York State for free. That's number one. There's DOE vendor. I'm certified as a DOE vendor. There's money in the education system specifically for DOE vendors to provide services to public schools. In fact, tomorrow is the deadline. And he'll tell you I was on the ground walking to schools to make sure it happens. Third, I would also say collective, just as you guys have been saying, communication. You know, many times we don't know what our neighbor's doing because we're so stuck in seeing what we're going to do. But long story short, I'm here to give any of my resources, whatever you need, I will make it happen. Trust and believe. That is my word. You can hold me to it. I will find it. I might not find it tomorrow, right? But I'll make sure that you have it. I am an April Randolph alumni. Okay? Hello? And this is close to home. I used to work at PLL in Washington Heights. I'm a living testimony that you can build your own and make sure that it might not happen overnight, but it'll happen.
Back it up. Back it up. All right.
Okay, so.
No, I just, honestly, it's super quick. In response to what you said, Dion, we want to wrap it up. I'm going to urge you to connect with us after this so that we can have a conversation. But just to briefly let you know, I've been in and out of jail since I was 14 to 21. I became a father at 16. My father's in prison serving 56 years of life. I've been in and out of gang wars. I've shot people. I've been shot. I've done all these things, and now I am a social worker. So in terms of what you're saying that you need a therapeutic, support and mentorship, you can connect with me on a personal level, and we can exchange numbers and we can have that conversation, right? In the daytime, I'm an ATI social worker. I work with nothing but gun cases and murder cases. I work with individuals fighting life cases. I work with individuals who are fighting gun charges. We do the community work. In the evening, I work with and for Caroline to run her program so that we can address the lack of mentorship that's in the community. We collaborate with Brad, Bring Rise Against Gun Violence. We run a fatherhood program in a school in the Bronx. And if you guys want to see the same thing here, collaborate with us, collaborate with the Uptown Youth Collective, and let's make this happen. You know, but let's collaborate with each other because we are a family. We are all one. Let's not turn it into like this back and forth. Let's come together and let's come up with a solution so that we can make the change in the community. I don't need to be the spokesperson, neither does Naima or Joseph. We're doing this because we care and we want to see a change. It hurt me. My mom, God forbid somebody kill my mom. I'm going to be honest. I'm a professional, but it'll go left. It'll go left. So when I heard that bothered me. So I'm doing something now. Joseph is doing something now. Naima has been doing something now. If you guys have young ladies, she runs a program for females. She does the same thing we do, but for young ladies. Connect with Naima. Connect with Al. Connect with us. We can even connect with you. You guys have been doing the work. Okay, so let's collaborate. Let's do something so that we can bridge the gap and make the change that we want to see.
So a great conclusion is, right, Catherine, the organization you started last summer, Uptown United, right? So Uptown United should be part of the Uptown Youth Collective.
Definitely.
You know? So moving forward.
And I also started a dance school after that.
Feel free to share that. And we can share that. We have we started an email list so we can share that with people as well. So if anyone here is part of an organization, whether it's a nonprofit or if you're a business, whatever it is, if you're part of a church, whatever you're part of, if you want your organization to be part of the collective, you don't have to jump through hoops. Just let Al know he's in the back. And then when we meet again, we'll all meet together, and then we'll actually talk about the groundwork that we can do together. Because everyone's doing it on their own, so now let's just keep connecting with each other. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Thank you. Round of applause, please, everybody. Round of applause. We need overtime. We need another $500 to pay for the overtime. Guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys know we're the Uptown Youth Collective. We're going to continue. This is not the end. This is the beginning. You're going to receive an email. Look, we came up with 7 problems and 7 solutions. And that was you guys. We're going to email this to you guys so you guys can have it fresh in your mind. And we're going to get together again within the next month. So please, can I get a round of applause and one for yourself? Also, can you raise your hand when you come back? Thank you guys. We're going to take it from here. We ran out of time, but if you guys want to put the jumps for 3 minutes, I'll appreciate that.
Yes, please. Before you leave, hold on.
Before you leave, one more announcement.
We want to urge you. Sign your name in, leave your email, leave your phone number so we can connect with you. And before you leave, let's at least enjoy the therapeutic drum session and let's conclude it with love.
Thank you. Everybody, round of applause, please.
Let's get a round of applause for each other.
Let's go. Thank you. Drums.